What we're here to discuss and demonstrate is a product that AMX has recently introduced to the marketplace. It's called Inspired Signage, or the Inspired to Go application. And basically it's designed to be a full solution for end users to create digital signage content with having very basic computer skills. For example, if you can create PowerPoints, use Microsoft Office, you can create some pretty excellent looking digital signage for your own organization. And again, this is designed for people to make use of their own media. I guess the first thing that we should talk about is what items you require to create an internal signage network. And what I'll do is, I'm going to use a very low-tech technique here, a flip chart, but just to show you exactly what's required when you create digital signage, the infrastructure. And AMX, the unique thing is that AMX also provides everything in the solution with the exception of the screens. So we provide the software for you to create your own content. We provide the digital signage player. We provide distribution, and we offer control of same. What we're showing here on this diagram is a typical digital signage distribution method. Pardon my artwork, but what we're displaying here is the IS2Go player. The IS2Go player is connected to an IP switch. The IP switch is connected to the outside world, to the network. My PC is connected to the IP switch. The player has its digital video output connected to the Endaleo UDM box, the Endaleo hub. And the Endaleo hub comes, of course, in many different configurations: 2 input, 4 input, 8 input, with a number of different outputs that can be cascaded for large-scale distribution. In this diagram, I've got the video output going to the Endaleo UDM hub, Cat5 out of the hub to my endpoint, and roughly 500 feet if you're running at higher resolutions. In this case, I'm only showing one display, but with a UDM 1604 cascaded, I can have up to 64 endpoints that I can use. So basically, I would have this scenario. And these would be receivers like this, and then these would be displays. So I can set up an environment whereby I can have a number of displays all seeing the content coming from that player. We have applications, though, and this is where there's a tremendous upside in dealing with our company. Because we provide everything in the solution, we provide the hardware, we provide the software, we provide the distribution, and we can control those items. The beauty of this system is that if we have an infrastructure such as buildings, and again, apologies for the way I draw here, let's assume we've got a university campus here, and we have the media center. Okay? We may have all of the administration of the software and of the digital signage system here in the media center. We can offer fiber, F-I-B-R-E, whatever, distribution. We can offer Cat5 distribution. But in a situation like this, if I had to put signage in all of these buildings, and let's say they had 5 floors each, I'd like to look at what would make sense for the end user. Does it make sense to set up a fiber infrastructure to go in between these buildings and the media room, or to make use of the fiber infrastructure, a fiber switcher costs X amount of dollars, depending on how you have it configured, of course. Maybe it makes more sense to drop inspired signage players in the key areas that they're going to be used. So where this building may be 5 stories tall, rather than running a fiber or video infrastructure apart from what's already there, put an inspired player in there, an IP drop, and then talk to those.
Be a network.
Yeah.
Perfect sense.
In this area, in each little area then, what you have the capability of doing is you can create a signage system within those areas. So let's say, for example, this player is responsible for these 3 floors, or these 2 floors, or this 1 floor where 4 screens are tied to it. Then you can go ahead and use an Endoleo distribution system in that subset. What you've got to do is take a look at the design. And some of you guys have seen me present before to you. I act like a Baptist preacher when I talk about design. How a little extra time at the beginning designing this thing correctly will give you a lot less grief out the field, and it'll make your end user customer more appreciative. What's important about our system, and as I said, we provide everything from the software all the way out, we stop just before the screen, is that you're not forced into purchasing a separate control system. There's a number of manufacturers out there who make Category 5 distribution systems. There's got to be at least 5 or 6 that I can name off the top of my head. However, none of those companies also incorporate control in their distribution system, and that's very, very important. You're going to sell your customer you're going to sell your end user a solution that already has the control application built in. Depending on the design, or I go again with the word design, but depending on the unit that you specify for the application, some of the units will also do RS-232 in bidirectional.
So at the end of the day, instead of having to walk around campus and shut off 300 different
That's right.
TVs.
That's right. What you do is, my web browser, you can talk to this box, tell it to turn off the screens at the far end at, say, 6 o'clock at night, and fire them up again at 8 a.m. the next morning. The universities themselves are all trying to go green. All of business and industry is trying to go green. In fact, yesterday, part of the presentation yesterday was, and the interest was generated at DACRO, was that we could turn those screens off when business hours were finished.